Hey everyone, my name is Christian Cooper and I play poker. These past 3 years or so, I've been traveling all over to play poker tournaments and I've learned a lot. Now, with years of playing and traveling experience under my belt, I wanted to share with you my blueprint for how I prepare for a tournament series. When preparing for an upcoming trip, I break down my prep into two phases: planning and execution. The first thing you need to do is obvious. Pick a series you want to go play in. This is the fun part. Maybe you're tired of your local casino and you want to go to Vegas or Miami or San Diego or wherever. Have fun. Pick somewhere you want to go. You need to decide if you're going to be there for the entire series or select dates. Are you playing just a couple events or are you staying from beginning to end? What you need to focus on are dates that align both with your calendar and you're picking events that stay within your bankroll. With the tournament series selected and the dates solidified, we need to figure out where you're going to stay. When picking where I'm going to stay, I really have two schools of thoughts: on property and off property. Let's go over the pros and cons of on property. Here are the pros. You always get to maximize sleep time. Your bed is right next to where you're playing. You get to go just upstairs or you're on the same floor or however it works for your property that you're staying at, but your bed is just feet away from where you're playing. Also, you get more familiar with the property faster because you're running around, looking at the room, going to the card room. You get comfortable quicker with where you're traveling to. And a huge pro is you get to take your breaks from the tournament in the room. Dinner break, 15-20 minute breaks, you can run up to the room and come back down. Now, let's go over those cons. When you're staying on property, the noise and overstimulation can become a problem. Poker is a really mentally taxing game. So taking a break where people are shouting and playing slots may not be that advantageous for you. Also, since there's not a lot of distance between where you're playing and where you're staying, it can feel like not enough separation is happening between those two things. If you're not careful, burnout can happen quicker. Think of working from home. When you're working from home, if your office or where you're doing your work is in your bedroom where you're sleeping, you have a hard time separating. In a perfect world, you would have a separate office space that you can go work into and close the door and get stuff done and separate yourself from the rest of the house, right? Again, perfect world. Here, it's the same thing where you're sleeping is different from where you're working, but it is so close, so that separation gets a little blurry. It leads to being tired more often. Now, switching gears to off property, think of staying at a different hotel or another Airbnb friend or family's house that's nearby. It is also cost effective if you're able to do something like that. Let's switch it up and go over some of the cons of staying off property, and then we'll get into the pros. If you're staying off property, you got to get on property to play. So Ubers or renting a car, you now have an additional expense added to your trip. Also, you have some additional travel time added to your trips. And additional travel can lead to additional delays, whether it be traffic or construction, and that can be stressful. We want to avoid stress as much as possible because newsflash, poker's stressful. You're subjecting yourself to a lot of stressful factors already, so why pile it on with staying off property? Some of the big pros, though, are maximizing your rest. We don't have to worry about housekeeping knocking on the door or the noises from the property, maybe spilling into your room or something like that. Maybe it's not ventilated or soundproof well enough and you can hear everything going off around you. So staying off property can give you better rest because hopefully, especially if you're at an Airbnb or a friend or family's house, no one's knocking on your door, and when you're sleeping, you get good sleep. And then my favorite pro of staying off property at an actual home is you get access to a full kitchen. When you have a full kitchen, you can cook yourself food, bring yourself food, eat healthy while you're there. So now we know what we're playing in. We've made the travel arrangements. We've booked the hotel, Airbnb, friend's house, family's house, whatever. Now it's time to perform. Phase 2, the execution. So you've grinded up a bankroll. You've put in study time away from the table. You now want to try your hand at the glory of winning a poker tournament. My best advice: treat yourself like a professional athlete. How do you do that? Well, you start with eating right. It's really easy to order junk food from room service, or it's really easy to get a burger at the poker table. I'm not saying you can't spoil yourself from time to time, but you need to give your body good food so you can perform at your highest level. This is why having a kitchen in your room can be amazing. You're able to meal prep, store your food, go to a grocery store, pick up things you need. Next, I'd say you should warm up. I don't like to go into a session cold. I like to run a few spots with a solver, quiz myself, or call a friend and go over a few spots. I like to get my mind ready so I don't spend the first couple hours of the tournament warming up. I want to come in hot, so those first couple hours that I'm getting reads on the table, my mind's already really sharp. Lastly, I'd say you should be working out. Morning, afternoon, nighttime, it doesn't matter. Getting a workout is not only good for your body, but it's good for your mind. It helps you create a routine that you can do over and over throughout the whole series. Personally, my day looks like this when I'm at a tournament series. I wake up, work out, eat, and when I eat is usually when I'm doing my warm-up to get my mind right. Take care of whatever personal business I have to do so my mind is clear through the whole day. Get ready for the day. Pack whatever I need to pack. It'd be a cell phone charger, a sweater, hoodie, money for the day, whatever you got to do, I got to pack. That's packed up, and then I go play. And I got a couple bonus tips for you as well. The first bonus tip is get there early. If you've never been to a venue before, fly in a day early. Get comfortable, check into your room, go unpack, and then go see the venue. Go see where you're going to be playing. A lot of times these series aren't in your standard poker rooms cash game area. Most of the time they're played in the conference rooms. Well, where are they? I don't know. They differ for every single property. And sometimes they can be on the other side or in an adjacent property that they're renting. Well, if you don't know that the day of when you go play, that can add more stress of when you're trying to buy in. You don't know where you're going. Go a day early. Go look around. Go see what the lay of the land is like. And that way, when you do wake up for that day to play, you already know where to go. Finally, I think this is really important. You need to have a backup plan. When players go to the World Series of Poker, they're usually there to play as much poker as possible. I know I am. So I have an A tournament, a B tournament, and a C tournament for every single day of which I'm playing. An example might look like your main focus for that day is the series mini main. It's a low buy-in, high guarantee, so that's like your A tournament. Well, the tournament started at 10 and registration closes at 3:30. You make it past 3:30 and then you immediately run into a cooler and you bust. That sucks. Now what? Well, in this now what, a lot of players start doing dumb bankroll stuff. They start playing other tournaments just because they happen to be running that they're not rolled for or that wasn't on their schedule, or they start going and doing other stuff, drinking and partying, etc. Well, you're here to work. You're a professional athlete, right? So our schedule is really important to us. If you bust out of A, do you have a B? And if no B, do you have a C? Or do you not have a B and C and that day was only for A and now you get to go rest a little bit or go on a tour and have some fun, some scheduled fun. We don't want to waste our day trying to figure out what the next step is. Create a schedule and stick to it. Everything we're going over here are factors that you can control. And if you control all of them in the right way, they compound and they snowball effect into you playing better. And if you're playing better, you have a better ROI plus EV spot at the table. I want you playing your best game always. So let's recap. You've got the best room for your stay. Is it off property, on property? Is it a standard room? Is it a suite? Do you have a kitchen? Do you not have a kitchen? Are you staying with a friend or a family member, an Airbnb? You figure that out before you come down. The most important thing in this room is where do you get the most rest? That's the room you want to be in. You've made a schedule and you're sticking to it. That's really important. You're working out, you're eating right. And finally, you're warming up for every single day. We're not going in cold. Why do all of this right here? Why do this whole list that we're going over in the point of this video if you're coming into a tournament cold? That doesn't make any sense to me. You don't cold start your car, right? You don't cold start a lawnmower. You pump it up, you get it going, and then you go. Otherwise, it breaks. And I don't need you breaking down in the middle of a tournament. I want you winning. Let's bink all these events. There's no reason that we all can't play in the same ecosystem and root each other on. And I hope you do the best you possibly can. You got to do these things if you want to perform at a high level. And that's it. I hope my blueprint was helpful to you and that you use it in the future. I would love to hear from everybody in the comments of how you prepare for a tournament series. Do you do something different, similar? Do you have good ideas that you can share with us down in the comments below? And if you haven't already, don't forget to hit subscribe, like, comment. It really helps out this channel. So if you're liking content like this, make sure you do that so the channel can grow and we can grow together. Thank you for sticking to the end. I appreciate everyone. I will see you guys in the next one.